I mean, don't forget, we lived sort of on like a farm. There was no television. We listened to radio. Sunday night, there was the most amazing, creepy stories. And we would sit in the dark and listen to Inner Sanctum. And I think my imagination was so great then, and Irene's. Nothing that you see on television. You can't imagine the green hornet, and you'd hear this buzzing. And even now, I get goosebumps because I know.
Because it's because you couldn't see.
Because our imagination had to take over. And I think that's, maybe that's what I get upset about with today. If you watch television and your iPhone all the time. Like I used to lay outside in the lawn and just watch clouds and dream, and I don't know.
It was slower.
Yeah, it was a slower way of life.
It's too fast here.
And not enough outside. My sanctuary is being outside.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Twenties Detox. I'm excited to present another retrospective reflections episode, where I invite individuals to share the valuable lessons they've learned throughout their life with us, the Twentysomething generation. If you don't know who I am, my name is Bianca, and if you've been following along, you may remember the episode I've recorded a few months ago with my great aunt Reena. Well, today, I'm honored to have someone who possesses the same level of strength and determination as well as Norwegian grit that runs in our family. Mary Brown is Reena's younger sister, and despite growing up in the same household, their personalities couldn't be any more different.
That's true.
Mary has always been someone who has shown me what it means to maximize life. She even has the sign carpe diem on her back porch, a Latin saying that means seize the day. Her unwavering positivity and infectious laughter has brought immense life to my family. And in a world that can seem so overwhelming at times, her example provides invaluable lessons in how to lead a long, healthy, and happy life. So, without further ado, I'm thrilled to welcome my grandmother, Granny Mary, onto the podcast.
Wow, that was quite an introduction. I loved it. A good little time is
well,
a long
first
time
of all,
for me.
maybe we should say how old you are.
I was going to say, for me, it's 85 years of reflections.
Hey,
the strange thing is, the older you get, I never really feel much different.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone said, I feel that I should be filled with this knowledge and everything, but I kind of still feel like the same person. I remember my 30th birthday. I was in St. Lucia. We had a trip there, and it was April the 19th. Well, when my 30th was 1968. And I remember sitting at this beach, and I love being by water, and thinking, what have I learned? I have 3 children now. I should be so wise, but I felt that I had so much to learn. And I think that's a good thing. I still feel that way. I'm very anxious to try something new. Mm-hmm. When I went with Cam and looked at all that artwork,
right,
and that woman was turning it and blowing it with a straw, and oh gosh, I thought,
is that what she was doing?
Yeah, some of it, she said, you blow it, and then some was with a hot gun. And I said, we've got to try that, Cam. We're going to go down and just try that.
Yeah.
I love to try new things.
Me too. I get bored if I don't. I feel like always trying new things is the best way to get out of any sort of stagnant feelings.
Yeah.
Right?
The bad thing about that is, with me, maybe it's my Aries sign, I tend to start a lot of things and then I don't finish them. Whereas Bob, when he starts a project, it has to be finished, which I admire, but I kind of see something else along the way, and I think, oh, I'll try this. But I do usually try and finish things.
Yeah, I love how Annie, you're going to be featured in the podcast. I also just think that it's one of the differences I've noticed men versus women, Because women are so multifaceted. We can do so many things at once.
Yes.
But men really tunnel vision on one thing. It does keep things exciting.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Try something else. I'll come back to it,
Yeah.
And unless it's just an unfinished product that shouldn't be finished, then I just let it go.
Did you have any role models growing up?
Definitely my Aunt Marnie.
Reena said the same thing.
Did she? Oh yes. Yeah. She lived with us, and she was such a different person. She had one hip replaced, and we went downhill skiing in Colorado. And Bob said, "You cannot have that flask." She always had a little flask. She always thought if you get stuck up on top of the hill or something, you had to have a little drink. So he bought her a leather flask. He said, "If you fall again and break that hip, you're in trouble." "Oh, well, it's okay."
I swear she didn't feel pain. There's something about her that the pain registers were gone.
I know. And she didn't.
Car door broke her thumb. Whatever. Fall off the roof.
Oh, she didn't fall off the roof, but I do remember
she
once.
fell out of a tree.
Oh, right. With the buzzsaw going, with the chainsaw going. And Irene phoned me. Irene said, "Mary, you've got to talk to her." And I said, "What am I going to say? To say, Marnie, don't go up a tree. You know perfectly well I live in Toronto, and she'll go up that tree whenever she feels like it." And I mean, she was 80-something. It wasn't as if she was 30.
Oh my gosh. Yep. You couldn't tell that lady what to do, though.
No, but she was so caring to our family, to us. She was so independent. She taught us how to garden. She was the one that did all the gardening. My dad was good too. He loved flowers. He knew all the Latin names for flowers. And I used to love being with him and doing that. But Marnie taught me really how to look after ourselves. Sustainability. Yeah. I mean, we grew up with very, very little money. So we had an acre and a half of land, most of it. So we had all our own vegetables and all our own berries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. And we worked on the garden all the time. So I can remember being so excited, picking all the carrots and potatoes. And I loved that.
Sustainability. I love how much you care about sustainability.
I mean, we didn't have the money, so we also raised all our own chickens. I just remember I never wanted to name them again. I had one favorite, and I think he was dinner once, and that really finished me off.
Oh boy, yeah, that's difficult. But you know what? That's something I talk about with some of my friends now, and how we really need to go maybe back in time and start doing that more because of all the preservatives that we're finding in the foods now.
Everything we ate was natural because,
Yeah.
But then you wonder what's in the ground now anyway from all the toxics. And I know in that atomic, that the Chernobyl, there was a big chemical plant that let all this radiation. They had strawberries the size of your fist.
Oh gosh.
But the cloud came over my cousin Strangstrand Struan was a nuclear nutritionist, and he was visiting us, believe it or not, from Norway when that happened. So I went with him to, I said, Ajax, we have the nuclear plant. And I had to put on this big suit and hat and gloves and everything. I was scared to death. I kept saying, I'll wait in the car, but he said, no, you have to come. Anyway, they said that cloud that went over in Norway, we have a cousin that's way up north near Trondheim, and they had told him one of his pieces of land could not be used for 100 years. I think about that. That was part of his living.
Oh my gosh. I always think about when you said, because taxes are so high in Norway, right? But there's a lot that when...
Free education.
Yeah.
Right through university. Nobody's living in a tent underneath a tree, which they are around here. Everybody is looked after from cradle to grave. I guess in some ways people say, well, it doesn't produce people that want to strive for more and do more.
Well, that's not the lifestyle there.
That's right.
Right? That's the individualism is the lifestyle in North America, not in Europe. Europe is all about collectivism, making sure the community is safe and happy. And I think there's a lot to learn from that. And that's also really why I wanted to bring you on today, because I think you really do have a lot of the Norwegian, European lifestyle in you, even though you live in Canada, just more than other people. There's a lot of people that just worry about themselves.
It's a lack of respect and empathy. I always tried to find something about a person that I could connect with. Someone would say to me, "Oh, don't bother with her. She's, a witch or, whatever with a B." And
a witch with a B. Yeah.
But I would always say, well, she can't be all bad. There's got to be something. And most of the time it's easy to dwell on negatives, but my happiness is always coming from dwelling on the positives. Now, the older you get, there are a lot of people that you say, I can put up with them, but they're not somebody that I would phone and say, do you want to go for a walk? What is it Jessica said? Surround yourself with people that
lift you up.
I
think so too. You're a reflection of your environment. There needs to be a healthy balance between making sure that you're also taking care of your energy and you're spending time with people that make you feel really good so that you can maintain that happiness.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because if you're only with the negatives and only with people that are, thinking negatively and miserable, it can drag you down.
Mm-hmm. Drags me down, that's for sure.
It drags me down too.
Yeah. You've been the most positive person I know. Nobody else is more positive than you that I know.
Really?
I'm not even joking. So I think, what could you do to help people that may not have a you in their life forever to make them happier of a person? Because it comes within you, I think, right?
Yes, it does. And I thought maybe I'm just too stupid to be unhappy. But I mean, first of all, I always like to be with people, love people, especially children. I've always loved children and treated them like an individual. I never liked it when I saw my friends treating their children as if they were part of a whole group that were all the same. Oh, she's just a 2-year-old. So consequently, I have a lot of younger friends, as you know, that I get along with because I admire the way they think, quite differently from me often. Always they've taught me things. I think in life, I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh, and I can always see the funny side of something. So if I see that someone's down, I like to just make them think of something funny or positive, and we can have a little laugh over it and go on.
You have always been like that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I can quite do that, and I love it. I love to laugh. I don't like to dwell on the bad things. Your mother was mad at me. I didn't tell her that I'd slipped and fallen and hurt my wrist. She said, I had to find out. So I said, well, when I was talking to you, I didn't even think about it.
Well, clearly it wasn't that bad, because if it was really bad, you wouldn't be able to hide it.
That's right. But basically, I am a happy person. And even when things get down, I can sit there and think, oh boy, that happened and that. And then I say to myself, well, look at what you've got. Look at what you've done. Mm-hmm. Hey, come on. Let's move forward. I can easily move forward.
That's good. I heard this man talking about the happiness and the fact that cultivating happiness is a choice, and to choose to be happy no matter what is the ultimate state of spirituality. And he says, in happy moments, be happy, because there'll be sad moments coming along the way.
Yes.
And in sad moments, be happy, because there's going to be happy moments coming soon. So I always thought that was so funny and so good to try and remember to be present and be grateful for the moment. And Kim and I even say sometimes if we get a little down that, I'm really grateful that I can just feel this human emotion and I'm not this robot or whatever, right? I can feel such a wide spectrum of emotions and just even be grateful for that. It can allow you to just, like you say, move past it.
Yes, because everyone will have sadness in their life. Terror, sadness. I mean, quite frankly, for the world right now, I look at it and when I see what's happening in the Ukraine and Syria and all the places, and I, of course, always think about the children.
Right.
And how could I help these children? And so I try and do the best I can around here just to help. I feed some people that homeless down in the way, and I do that little bit just to help the people I can. I don't want to just say, well, I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to do anything. That to me doesn't
fit. Maybe we can't target the Ukraine, but we need to just do what we can, like in the control that we have.
Yes, do your little bit just in the circle that you're in. Even if it's just with my children, I feel that my family and the love that they have for each other, and they truly do, they're all there for each other. And I remember when Carrie and Vicky were little, your mom and her sister, and if they were fighting, I used to sit them down and say, look, these people are the most important in your life. If you can't get along, how is the world going to get along? Because you two are sisters. Mm-hmm. And they would, oh, you're right, Mom.
I remember Cam and I did that. I still remember this so vividly. So we had a little disagreement. And then it ended up being, I think, Cam bit me and I slapped her. We both started crying because she bit me. That hurt. I slapped her. That hurt. And we both decided, I don't think we're going to do this again. Next time that we get in an argument, we're going to sit down and talk about it. But when I think about it now, at 6 years old and 4 years old, the fact that we did that.
That's amazing.
I know. And really, I don't know anybody who's closer than Kim and I. It's sisters, siblings.
Yeah.
But at that young, we decided, of course we got into some arguments, but never has it escalated to that extent ever again at 4 years old and 6 years old, because we decided we have to talk about it. I don't want to get bit again by Kimmy. And then I'll have to slap her.
Isn't that funny? But I think our family is so lucky because they're a loving family. It's very wholesome. It's respectful, which I think so much of the world has lost.
Yeah, I do think maybe a component of it is the fact that we're 95% women, because there's so many women, and not only just women, but tough women, that we're forced to be seen as an equal. And I think because of that, there's just mutual respect and love. And it just ends up being such a
But I think the people that join in, I think the men that have joined in, they saw it like that and they liked it. Otherwise, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't stick around. Yeah. But we did create that kind of boundary, requirement. But I have found that the second misogyny enters the room, the warmth is different.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it could be just the way that men speak to women, or just women speaking to women in order to gain respect from men. You've probably seen that. You've seen it when it was at its worst.
Oh, yeah, I have. But I was in the burn the bra era.
Burn the bra?
Oh, yeah. Really? Women were burning their bras, saying if that's what it takes and they just want to be equal, and they, if they were walking. Oh, yeah. I grew up during war, and one of my memories, packaging up all this food because my cousins in Norway were starving. Mm-hmm. They were cutting them off from all foods and everything, and they were starving, and God, we just sent them everything we could because we raised everything. We had a lot of food. I remember packaging it up all the time and wondering, oh my gosh, I wonder if they're going to be okay,
How young were you?
Well, I was born in 1938. The war started.
In 1945. No, it started in 1939 to 1945.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you were definitely...
I was a war baby. I remember when the war ended, everybody walked to town. That was like a 3-mile walk for us. And we all came back, and in our field, we burned an effigy of Hitler. My aunt made a man out of straw and in my dad's clothes, I guess. And we all cheered, and which would have been Hungarian, Swedish, Norwegian. We all sort of had farms around there because all our families were over there. The men that came home were in terrible shape. Of course, they always are. Another horrible part of North American history, and Canada also, is the slave trade, and how, because of the color of your skin, just because you're black, you were treated. It doesn't make a bit of understanding to me. I simply can't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're yellow, black, white, so that's how stupid we were as a human race, which is an animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're the only animal that kills and not to eat it.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
Because it really, the reason why we're different colors is because of the amount of UV rays.
Exactly, where you live.
Wherever we lived and wherever our ancestors have moved from. I mean, we all came from Africa, and then the tectonic plates were separating, and we ended up going a bit north, and some people went a bit more south, but it still shifted away from the equator, and the farther you go, the whiter you get. But it doesn't mean that we're any different.
I know. When I was teaching kindergarten, these 2 little ones, and we would always give them juice and cookies. I used to ask them to wipe their hands first. So I guess I always had a towel or something. I can't remember. There wasn't a bathroom in the thing. They weren't going down the hall. But so this little Finnish boy, and he was blonde, blue-eyed, was sitting beside his best friend who was black. And they were sitting like this. And I heard Nico was his name. I remember him saying, "Oh, you didn't wash your hands. You're not going to get a cookie." And so the little black boy turned his hands up this way, palms up, and the palms are quite whitish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Nico said, "Oh, that's good. You got that side clean. You can get one." He never had seen that boy was black. It never crossed his mind that
Right.
his hand and his face matched. And right. I loved it. I was going to give him 2 cookies, but I couldn't.
It goes to show that division is taught.
Oh, of course. People are afraid of something that is different.
The 20s Detox, I think I've mentioned to you before what it really means. Do you know what the whole idea is behind it?
Well, I thought get people to understand how the world works and how you can work through it to get through the 20s in a happier situation.
Yeah, well, that's totally what it is. But it's also to have an equal emphasis on unlearning as well as learning.
Oh, okay.
I forget what the line was by Lao Tzu. He said something about if you want to gain more wisdom, you need to let go of some things.
Okay.
Because we can't just constantly learn
you can't
more.
Move forward if you're
if you're holding on to some things that don't really serve you anymore. So I have an emphasis on what's called the learn, relearn, unlearn cycle. You were probably taught women are not equal to men, and now so many women have had to unlearn that in order to step more into their power of being treated as an equal. They finally had to let go of those kind of ideas of themselves to have the courage to speak up. And that can just be for one thing, but there's so many other things. So I wanted to ask you if you have something in mind that you had to unlearn in your life. It can be very small or it can be something big that allowed you to just maybe live a happier, better life.
Well, first of all, getting back to all our wars and everything, when I grew up, Germans were to be I mean, good heavens, you mentioned that, and the first thing I'd think of was Hitler. And I can remember listening to him on the radio. And, if someone said they were German, I was scared. But then my family met this German man, Mr. Haufpuff, and his wife was Russian, and they had escaped the war. He said he was on the top of his turret. He had only enough bullets to shoot once every 5 minutes or something, and he saw a huge line of American soldiers coming up. And he said the only thing I could think of was, thank God they're going to save me. So I realized when he told me that, he was a young guy that didn't want to be killing anybody.
Right.
And he was conscripted and had to go. And so, I mean, he just put his gun down and surrendered and went to a camp. And so we had to unlearn the fact that all these people that were fighting, just like the Russians, aren't all bad,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because as a little Ukrainian child now will say, oh my God, they, killed my family, whatever. You have to unlearn that if the world is going to move forward.
You do.
And yet we cannot throw out history. I think if you forget it, it happens again.
The only way to really move forward out of division and into unity is for us white people. Sometimes my sister and I talk about this, to let go of the guilt that some of us have for the fact that some of our ancestors might have been involved in some of this. I mean, my nono was mentioning to me about how when he was a young boy, around the same time, he's Italian. And for so long, they wouldn't allow him into any of his friends' homes because he was Italian, and they would associate it with Mussolini. Because of that, Italian was never taught in my family. I'm starting to learn it now. But I think that
they were frightened too.
They were frightened to accept that part of themselves because they felt a little bit guilty for being with that. And I think on both ends, we don't forget it, right? We don't forget that was awful.
But we forgive.
Oh, there was such a good thing. This man, he was a Jamaican man. He went up to this man on the street. He's like, "What's the color of your mind?" And he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "That's exactly right. All of us are buckets of water."
I love it.
With different colors, but we're all the same water. Reena says you're baptized. In a lake.
No, in a lake. Oh.
Is she wrong with that?
Yes.
Where were you baptized?
Oh, well, wait a minute now. Maybe I was skipped. So Rolf and Eric were done together, and Irene, and then Tina was. I'm not sure if I was. I guess I wasn't. Maybe she did baptize me.
I think Reena might have baptized you in a lake and nobody told anybody.
I've always struggled with it. I've always struggled with religion because of the wars that were fought for religious reasons. And I could never figure it out why someone, if they're Catholic, wants to kill someone that's Protestant and vice versa. But I think I'm an agnostic. I truly believe this nature. Outside is so important for me. I love to be outside every day. When I'm not, I feel hemmed in, and I would even go out in the rain. And I feel that nature is just so amazing that there has to be some spirituality in all of that. My spirituality comes from nature, outside. I went for a walk the other night about 8:00, and the birds were out and the water was lapping up, and I just thought, God, this is just an amazing, amazing earth.
You've been married for 64 years now.
Yes. Next week.
Okay. What is your advice on keeping a marriage alive?
Bite your tongue, but I won't. Oh, no, it's totally and utterly communication.
Right.
Tell them how you feel. Don't sit around and wish that they say, I love you. Say, look, I need to be told once in a while. I need to be hugged.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, Bob and I discuss things all the time, and that's why it has lasted and for so long.
Communication.
Communication, I think, is the biggest thing for friendships. If you have a friend and she said something you don't like, don't let it fester. Say, why did you say that? What did I do that made you say that?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's totally what not. She said, oh, I didn't think anything of that. In other words, don't let little things fester, because I do believe it's little things can grow into big things if you allow it. Just talk about it.
Okay, so let's finish it up.
Okay.
We're going to say, of all the things we said in this conversation, we're going to give 3 pieces of advice to anybody and how to live a good and happy life.
When you wake up in the morning, I always like to have a project each day. I don't wake up and say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do today? I always, before I go to bed, I'll say, gee, now tomorrow I want to make sure I have this ready or do this. I like to have a plan. And I think to be organized, to have a plan is a good thing, because otherwise you kind of float and you don't get anything done.
Yeah.
But I don't make, like my sister, a 20 things to do, because that's too much.
I know. She actually told me the other day she just chooses one thing a day now.
That's what she said to me. And I said,
and that's what you should do.
They have to be realistic.
Exactly.
Goals.
And if it's a big goal, split it up into a few tasks throughout either the week or the month or even the year if it's that big of a goal.
Yeah. Because I say the forest is just one tree at a time. You're going to.
Right. That's a good saying.
Just look at the one and say, okay, I'm going to deal with that one. And
Mm-hmm.
I like to do that. I like to always try and think positively on anything. When I wake up, I just like to say, this is a great day, and I'm going to make sure. Even if it's pouring rain, I'd say, oh, look, terrific, it's pouring, because I always wanted to go down and clean that thing in the basement. It's a good day to do it.
You can always make light of a situation.
Yeah. And eat healthily. I think that's important. Not that I'm terrific at it, but I'm pretty good at it. Bob and I always laugh at that commercial that has fruities and veggies or something. They're like a vitamin, and you get all your fruits, they said, and all your vitamins in these pills. I said, oh my gosh. I mean, I make a salad every night. We have, I don't know, eat healthy and vegetables, go outside fruits. Every chance you get for a walk, at least an hour, just to yourself, to be outside and walk.
Yeah, that's it. Nature. It's healing.
Look at a bird.
I have so many plants in my rooms. I think if I care for nature, nature cares back to me.
They talk. I talk to my plants.
So do I. I say, you're doing great, honey.
I want
You're growing.
Well, they say that plants actually scream when you rip.
I know, it's so sad. Yeah. They really do. Their vibrations, I know. So you have to say how much you love them, and then they'll grow. Okay, so I think that we're finished. All up.
Well, I hope I've been helpful in a way.
You've been so helpful, Gran. I'm so glad that you could come on. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode and listening to my grandmother and I just blab on about life and happiness and nature.
You were the one grandchild I giggle the most with.
That's a lie.
I think so.
Really?
Every
time.
What
about Maddie? She's hilarious.
She is. Well, I don't see her as much.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. I can be funny sometimes. I don't even know that I'm funny, though. And then I notice some people.
But you have a wonderful giggle. You make me laugh, so it's okay.
So do you. Maybe that's why. Because I got your laugh, but it isn't as addicting as Marnie's.
Oh, she once got the whole Oh, the whole audience in the movie theater laughing at her laughing.
I know. And then she laughed and her dentures flew out of her mouth and she caught it in midair.
Oh gosh, I remember looking for her dentures. What, Midsummer Night? She was laughing, I think, in the strawberry patch. Anyway, I was looking for her teeth in the strawberry patch.
How did she just laugh so hard it kept falling
I
out?
don't know what it, I don't remember.
She's so funny.